Hey darling friends, it's Alora. Today I am here to pop in really quickly with my, June TBR, book sliding all over the place. Anyhow, I had a really great reading month in May. I'll link that May wrap up down below if you're curious to see what I read. And I really feel like I probably won't have nearly as much time to read in June. So I'm not being overly ambitious with this. I'm being pretty reasonable with my book load here. But I just wanted to pop in and show you what it is that I'm reading and what I'm planning to finish this month. So, the first book is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the original Mistborn trilogy, and I've never read these books before. I'm coming in really late to the game on the Brandon Sanderson train, but I'm really happy that I'm finally reading them because they are very good. They're very well written, you care about the characters, and the conflict is big and expansive and interesting, and the politics are complex. And all of the characters are very fleshed out, and none of them feel like placeholders. Each person has their own distinct personality, and if you listen to the dialogue without hearing the character names, you would know who was speaking. I really appreciate that quality and aspect to these books. So I can't provide you with really a detailed synopsis of what it is because that would be major spoiler since it's the second book in the series, but the first book in the series follows this ragtag team of people trying to take down the Lord Ruler who has ruled for 1,000 years over this world that is covered in ash and mist. It's sort of the idea that the bad guy won and he's been sitting on the throne for a millennium, and now there are these people who are slaves, servants, dust underneath his feet who are trying to rise up and change the kingdom. Again, very well written. I would highly recommend these. I was hesitant for a long time to read them just because, I don't know, they're long fantasy books, and to me sometimes I equate long mass market paperback fantasy books with like middle-aged men and like what they would read, and I know that's not fair whatsoever, and that's definitely judgmental, and so I'm changing my view on that, and I'm recognizing that this is a genre that I am actually quite interested in and that I can enjoy, and when it's well written it doesn't feel long and dry. It feels engaging and exciting and you want to keep going. So this is the first one that I will hopefully complete. I'm about 200. I'm 200 pages into this book and it looks like I'm not very far at all, but I'll get there eventually. The second book that I want to complete is kind of the quite opposite of the first one, and that is Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. I read Love and Gelato last year, didn't love it, but I had already purchased the companion novel. I do that sometimes, guys. And so I just decided I wanted something kind of fluffy to go hand in hand and juxtapose my adult fantasy read. And this is just, you know, the font is huge, it's really fast-paced and easy to get through, and just kind of fun and fluffy. And then also, I'm very interested in traveling to Ireland, and so I just enjoy books that are set there. The audiobook that I'll be picking up in June is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Who gave this lady 2 first names to begin with? I'm just kidding. Anyway, this is a World War II book following 2 sisters and their journeys through the war and the trials that they face and how they contribute to the war, and I think their journeys with each other. And I have barely started this, so I can't really, tell you how I feel about it yet, but a lot of people have lauded this book and said that it was just an incredible tale of sisters and of women in wartime, back when women didn't actually fight in wars. While I don't normally listen to a lot of historical fiction novels, I am very interested in this book. I did read All the Light We Cannot See, which is a book that has been compared to The Nightingale, so I'm interested to see where the parallels lie and which one I ultimately prefer. I also plan to pick up Tin House. It's volume 20, number 3, Spring Fling. This is a literary journal that's based out of Portland, where I was living, and so I kind of got turned on to it that way. I have read a couple of them, and for me, literary journals are hard because there are pieces in there that I adore, and then a lot of stuff that I kind of have to wade through, things that I don't enjoy, genres I wouldn't normally read, essays on things that don't interest me, and because I'm the kind of person that likes to finish things, I don't flip through and find the things that I enjoy. I just read it all. And so, guys, it's the same way with magazines. I don't flip through magazines. I read every single word, like even every single word on the advertisements. I'm that kind of type A crazy. And so This kind of thing is always a mixed bag for me. I usually don't end up giving them very high ratings, but I can usually find one or two pieces in there that I love. So I've started this one already. I didn't just start it. I made it about halfway through a few months ago, and so I'd like to finish reading it. The last book that I have to show you is another kind of fluffy book. I don't know, guys, I've just been reading a lot of heavy fantasy and a lot of sad contemporaries, and I feel like I need a little bit of levity in my life, and so I bought this book at Barnes & Noble a few months ago called Little Beach Street Bakery, and it's an adult book, not adult like adult content, but you know, it's not YA. It follows a woman in her 30s who's kind of rebuilding her life, who goes to this small coastal town and opens a bakery. That's my understanding of it. So I think that'll be fun. If you know me in real life, or if you've been following me for a while, you know that I adore baking. I love it, you know, to the bottom of my heart, the pits of my soul. That sounds really weird. But I really do love baking, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy, and I haven't done it as much recently just because I've been living by myself. So I've been out of the baking game a little bit lately, but I still love reading about it. It kind of just brings me a little spark of joy, like the little Marie Kondo ding sound, you know, like just a little spark of joy. And so I hope that this book is good. You know, I hope that it's not too crappy. I don't know, I've never read anything by this author, Jenny Colgan. I don't know if she's mainstream women's fiction or I don't know. Also, I do take affront to the word women's fiction, so I do just want to clarify that because there's no such thing as men's fiction, you know? Just think about it for a second. Anyway, those are the books that I'm planning on reading in June. I'll probably pick up another audiobook at some point down the line because I tend to listen to them pretty quickly nowadays, but I don't know what I'd want to listen to in particular. So if you have any great audiobook recommendations, definitely leave them down in the comments below. I'll check them out. I'm always looking for great audiobooks, and that can really make or break your experience of a book if the audiobook narration is like in line with how you view the book. So if you have any good ones, let me know. Maybe I'll pick up the Illuminae audiobook because I do own a physical copy of Illuminae. I actually have an ARC, guys, from like, how many years ago was that? Five or 4 or something like that years ago. And I still have yet to read it. I've tried to read it a couple of times and have only gotten like 20 or 30 pages in, but I hear the audiobook is fantastic, so I might tandem read it, like I might read it physically while listening to the audiobook. I've heard that that's a pretty great experience. But let me know what you recommend. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm excited to make a lot more content in the future. And yeah, I love you so much.